Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I will talk about the Badab War. And I talked about the Badab War a couple of times on this channel already, and I have an army. If you follow my social media accounts, you know that I'm a quite enthusiastic Badab War fan, especially for the Mantis Warriors, but everything of the Badab War. So I will talk a little bit about it today. So let's begin. Okay, the Badab War ultimately is a how do you call it? It's the story of a couple of chapters in the Imperium that secured the Maelstrom Zone. The Maelstrom Zone was before the Cicatrix Maledictum, another small place where there was a rip in reality, where there was there was a hole in reality, and you could directly go into the warp through the excuse me, through the immaterium. Okay, those chapters were obviously small eye of terror, always on the cusp of war. Like they never had any peaceful times, because renegades, Xenos, Chaos Space Marines, whatever, always would come out of the Maelstrom and attack the Maelstrom Zone. Well, the Imperium needed that Maelstrom Zone because it was very resource rich. That's why they had some chapters there. After a new chapter master was elected for the leader of the Maelstrom Warders, the chapter that leads the Maelstrom Warders, Luft Huron, was elected as the chapter master of the Astral Claws, and he petitioned the Imperium to send him reinforcements. He maybe suggested that they even needed a whole founding of Space Marines to secure the Maelstrom Zone. Huron, being an incredibly smart man, knew that the Maelstrom Zone is very, very important for the Imperium and the systems around, because of the because of the resources in there. That request ultimately was denied. It wasn't even looked at by the High Lords, and that made Huron angry. And after they even redeployed a chapter of the Maelstrom Warders, the Channel Guard, Luft Huron started building a legion, and so began his descent into darkness. And from that there was a 14-year war. That spawned a 14-year war, which is known as the Badab War. We got all this information from Imperial Armor books, from the two Imperial Armor books about the Badab War from Forge World. So these are, the first one was in 5th edition, I think, and the second one was in 6th edition, Warhammer 40k. Now, like, I gave you a short lore summary, but it's really, really short. There's 2 whole Imperial Armor books on it, so if you don't like, if you think like, oh well, that doesn't sound as interesting, that was just a short summary. So why is it cool? Now we have 16 Space Marine chapters fighting over who's right. Not like, because the Badab Successionist, the Mantis Warriors, Lamenters, Executioners, and the Astral Claws never denounced their loyalty to the Imperium. They just said the Imperium at large is not capable of of managing the Maelstrom Zone, and that's why Huron himself distributes the resources of the Maelstrom Warders and the Maelstrom Zone, and that he doesn't pay the gene tithe to the Mechanicum anymore. This is in a couple of ways problematic because Huron was actually building a legion. No, he didn't have 100,000 Space Marines like a normal legion would have, but he had a lot of Space Marines, 6,000 Astral Claws, around 1,000 Mantis Warriors, around 1,000 Lamenters, around 1,000 Executioners faced off against 10 other chapters. There's a lot of fan favorite chapters spawned from the Badab War. Red Scorpions, Kakarodons, Minotaurs, Nova Marines, Marines Errant, Fire Angels, Fire Hawks, all awesome chapters with awesome backgrounds and awesome stories, right? So it has an awesome depth. Like the two Imperial Armor books are like small black books for the heresy. They have that amount of detail. And I think that the Badab War was the precursor of the heresy. It's pretty obvious because when the Badab War was introduced, they introduced Mark IV armor, Mark III armor. I don't know if they introduced Mark II, I cannot say, but they introduced Tartarus armor and Cataphracti armor. Those kits weren't heresy kits at the beginning. Those were Badab War kits. This is just a little trivia, but this is why it's so cool, and it still has a fan base. Like people still playing it, even though we are playing a 9th edition, and the last Badab War content came out in 6th edition. Because it has such a depth, and such a rich source material. So now, after you heard all this, and you're still listening to this, I think it comes to no shocker that I would tell you, make an army for the Badab War. There's no Primaris Marines in the Badab War, as I said, because it was in the 6th edition Warhammer 40k and started in 5th edition. And maybe you could make the argument, yes, but the small Marines, the Firstborn Marines, are almost gone. There won't be any Firstborn Marines anymore, or any longer, because of the Primaris Marines coming. And this comes into the next thing, what I wish for, because I think the Badab War was such a monumental and awesome thing that it should become a full-blown Warhammer 40k expansion. Because what I'm lacking in Warhammer 40k at the moment is the lore aspects. So you all know me to be a huge heresy player, and I love it that there's so many events that are narratively driven, but there's no 40k events like that, or I've never seen them. If there's 40k events like that, please correct me in the comments. I'm not making this video to talk bad about 9th edition, that's not the intention, but I would like, if I see the Badab War after the Primaris Marines are the normal for the Space Marines and the Firstborn aren't around anymore, that the Badab War becomes a expansion for Warhammer 40k, because the range is already there. Let's be honest. You have all those Marines for Warhammer 40k, for the Badab War, and the range is already there. So it's not like they can't just stamp out a range from a Marine range out of nowhere. Like, they don't need to do that. Forge World and GW already make the models. Maybe they do new squads, maybe they don't. I don't know. But as I said, the Badab War has a huge fandom, and you will always find people in your area that at least know the Badab War, or maybe they wanna read the Badab War, or the internet. There's a good group called the Badab War Reenactment Society on Facebook, where people that love the Badab War meet up. And I think, yeah, like, I would love to see the Badab War becoming a full-blown 40k expansion after the Firstborn Marines are gone. Because I feel like if you redo the Badab War with Primaris Marines, it's kind of odd, because it's said that Primaris Marines can't really betray the Emperor, and even though the Marines of the Badab War never betrayed the Imperium, or never denounced their loyalty to the Emperor, unless you are the Astroclaws, then it's like kind of hard to do that with Primaris Marines, because Primaris Marines are said to be to not be able to betray the Imperium, and that's fine for me, I guess. That's no problem. There's enough Traitor Legions in Warhammer 40k. But I really hope they do like a full-blown expansion for this. I see people play with 7th edition rules for the Badab War. I see people play with the Badab War books for the Badab War. But I would wish that that it becomes a expansion for Warhammer 40k. And this is a video dedicated to the Bring Back Badab movement, because a lot of Badab War hero profiles disappeared from Warhammer because they don't have any rules, and the people that are fans of the Badab War are kinda sad. And I'm a fan of the Badab War, so I'm sad. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Thank you all for listening. Join the Discord server, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with your friends. Have a good one, good night, and bye bye.